Yesterday, the State's Commissioner for Finance, Ashiwaju Idris, said no interest or any form of payment should be made to anyone from government accounts henceforth. The statement also said that standing orders and investment instructions have been cancelled. And on the foreign scene, Niger's military ruler, General Abdulrahmani Tiani, was in Mali to meet his counterpart, Colonel Assimi Goita, in his first international visit since seizing power in July. Niger's neighbors, Mali and Burkina Faso, which are ruled by military leaders who seized power in 2020 and 2022 respectively, have pledged solidarity to Niger's coup leaders. The three Sahel countries in September signed a pact that includes provisions for mutual defense in the event of an attack on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of any of the countries. They also plan to strengthen economic ties. The regimes are also united in the fight against jihadism in the country. And to sports, Dani Alves, special Spanish prosecutors are seeking a 9-year jail term for former Brazilian star Dani Alves, who is accused of raping a young woman at a Barcelona nightclub in December 2022. Prosecutors have also demanded the former Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain fullback, who has been in jail in Spain since his arrest in January, pay his alleged victim 150,000 euros in compensation, according to a copy of his indictment seen by AFP on Thursday. A date for his trial had not been set, but the 40-year-old has maintained that he had consensual sex with the accuser. And that's the news update at this hour on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Now breakfast continues shortly with Security Watch. I am David Chiedu. Good morning.
This is Radio Now News.
Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Nah man, this subsidy removal, nah shege.
You're right. The price of sanitary pads have gone up.
Do you only need women to dance behind you at political rallies? Many women cannot afford to buy sanitary pads when they are on their monthly periods. Our girls in school call one way.
Many girls can no longer afford the important item for their menstrual hygiene.
Politicians suppose reason more.
This talk about sanitary pad is becoming a recurring matter. Don't worry. You, the women, will be part of the team to suggest how we can address the matter well.
My Period, My Pride radio drama. Now for we politicians to provide free pads for our girls for secondary school. My Period, My Pride. The story of Ife. Now sanitary pad media campaign power up with support from MacArthur Foundation
and Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Coming to you
every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Watch out.
Every Saturday on Radio Now 95.3 FM, listen and win awesome prizes on the My Period, My Pride radio drama giveaway. You could be the lucky winner for the week. To participate, simply listen to My Period, My Pride radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. and stand a chance to win by answering the questions correctly. Send your correct answers to our WhatsApp number 0809 682 2595. That is 0809 682 2595 with the hashtag My Period, My Pride. Be the winner on My Period, My Pride radio drama giveaway. Again, it's Saturday 10 a.m. on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
It's time. This December, Hang on to your hat for a scintillating radio experience. Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos presents The Rejig, featuring Now Breakfast, Now Midday, Now Express, and Now Drive Time. Brace yourself. The jig will get you. Coming soon.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
In order to keep up with our culture of excellence and continue to bring you the very best of radio programming, we invite you, our dear esteemed listener, to share your concerns with us on any of our content and or broadcast practices that you consider unsatisfactory. You can reach us via WhatsApp on 0809 682 2595. That is 0809 682 2595. This is for us to get your feedback on our efforts to continue to build and maintain our relationship with you and also to serve you better. Thank you for choosing Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Announcer, FSRCC.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. You're listening to Now Breakfast. News and information go around every second. The ones who deliver it and how matter. We give you depth, substance from the real sources.
I made statements in that regard, and the first point I called was the National Working Committee.
There wasn't any agreement between Bashir Machina and Ahmad Lawan.
The DPO, the Divisional Police Officer who is on ground there, went there.
Also giving you a more human angle on the events that matter.
We are not people that live in mansions, but we are people that live in the locality, and the people are afraid to
live. So many issues there in area boys. Then we now went to...
Let's cut the convention and rather have a conversation. Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. We go beyond the news.
Every Saturday on Radio Now 95.3 FM, listen and win awesome prizes on the My Period, My Pride radio drama giveaway. You could be the lucky winner for the week. To participate, simply listen to My Period, My Pride radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. and stand a chance to win by answering the questions correctly. Send your correct answers to our WhatsApp number 0809 682 2595. That is 0809 682 2595 with the hashtag My Period, My Pride. Be the winner on My Period, My Pride radio drama giveaway. Again, it's Saturday 10 a.m. on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
It's time. This December, hang on to your hat for a scintillating radio experience. Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos presents The Rejig, featuring Now Breakfast, Now Midday, Now Express, and Now Drive Time. Brace yourself. The jig will get you. Coming soon.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
This is Now Breakfast.
Good morning. This is your daily security watch on Now Breakfast.
Good morning. It is Security Watch this morning on Now Breakfast. The Defense Headquarters says that the troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria in the last 1 week eliminated 99 terrorists and apprehended 198 others in different operations across the country. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Edward Buba, a Major General, said this while briefing journalists on the operations of the military yesterday in Abuja. Mr. Buba said the troops also rescued a total of 139 hostages and recovered 141 assaulted weapons and 1,463 assorted ammunition in the various operations across Northeast, North Central and Northwest theaters of operations. The breakdown of recovered items, according to him, include 1 GPMG, 1 GT3 rifle, 1 assault rifle, 49 AK-47 rifles, and Joseph Magnum pump-action guns, 1 double-barrel gun, and 2 single-barrel guns. And still on Security Watch this morning, troops of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarindaji have killed 4 terrorists in Zamfara State during a coordinated clearance operation. The clearance operation was conducted at some identified terrorist hideout at Tazame, Mashema, Gandaya, Maji, Doka villages and surrounding forests in Gandaya village of Bungudu local government area of the state. This was disclosed in a statement on Thursday by the spokesperson of Operation Hadarindaji, Captain Yahya Ibrahim, saying that an unconfirmed number of terrorists escaped with gunshot wounds in the latest clearance operation. And that's Security Watch this morning on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Many thanks for staying tuned, but do stay tuned even more as conversations continue today in the news.
Good morning. This is your daily security watch on Now Breakfast.
You're listening to Now Breakfast.
This is Now Breakfast.
From the north to the south, real people.
So like I said to you, it's some serious elements of the outgoing issue of my party whose tenure elapsed, who are pleading with me to endorse an illegal extension, and I refuse to be a part of any illegality.
Real stories every morning.
Most of the IDPs, they stay in schools, and once they move in schools, when there is a disaster, the school in that area is automatically shut down.
This is Today in the News on Now Breakfast.
Today in the news, it is the third day rather, of the judicial workers' protest. An indefinite protest which they embarked on, starting Monday when they started to protest, and then on Wednesday we saw a development with the authorities clamping down on them, and then the former resolving to embark on an indefinite strike to protest an alleged injustice and prosecution that they are facing under the leadership of the state chief judge, Justice Adegbele Ojo. Now, the workers who are under the umbrella of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria are asking for the reinstatement of their suspended members and the payment of some of the allowances that they are entitled to. Justice Ojo is currently under investigation by the State House of Assembly, who had earlier recommended her suspension, which was approved by the governor. This had caused an uproar from various stakeholders in the country's justice sector. The chairman of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria in Osun State, Mr. Olugbenga Eludire, joins us this morning to give us a better understanding of the situation in that part of the country. Good morning, Mr. Benga.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you hear me very well, sir?
Yes, clearly.
All right, then. Did the petitions written to the State Assembly against the Chief Justice come from your union?
Yes. I am Comrade Oluwagbenga Olakunle Eludire.
All right.
The chairman, Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, Osun State Branch. Truly, we have been on this matter for quite some years back, and all our efforts to resolve the issue with the Honorable Chief Judge of Osun State, Honorable Justice Adegbele Oyebola Ojo, proved abortive. And our request, our demand, are simple. We have been clamoring for reinstatement of our members that were unlawfully suspended from service without a recourse to the Judicial Service Commission. We are also requesting from the Honorable Chief Judge to continue sponsoring our members for seminars and workshops at the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, as our conventional practice on a yearly basis, and as it has been captured in our yearly budget. Another is the implementation of regularization and promotion exercise as directed by the Osun State government, which was not completed. We have been asking the Chief Judge to ensure that he complements the effort by ensuring that the promotions and regularization goes round, because this has already been causing frictions among our members. And also, the payment of our allowance, wardrobe allowance, since 2021, 2022, and 2023, respectively. And these are the requests. And we have put this before the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable House of Assembly of Osun State, for necessary attention and necessary action.
Now, apparently the strike has just started, but the union had started picketing, certain establishments since the beginning of the week. So what led to if you like, made it escalate into being an indefinite strike?
Actually, we started picketing the office of the Honorable Chief Judge on Monday, and the exercise extended to Tuesday, when the Conference of Judges approached us for dialogue. We agreed, and it was that agreement that now led to scheduling of that meeting for Wednesday by 10 o'clock at the Judges Conference Room, headquarters of Osogbo. On Wednesday, we assembled at the High Court to meet with the delegates, the committee set up by the Conference of Judges, to dialogue with us. It was there that we gathered, that we now saw that the Honorable Chief Judge that we have picketed our office was ushered in by FT security officer. And it was this that now led to a kind of pandemonium among our members. And the next thing we saw was that the police started shooting at us, tear gassing us, and they dispersed all my members. Later, we gathered at the Customary Court of Appeal where I addressed them. It was the brutalization of the police that led to final closure of services of courts. And because our life was in danger and I could no longer guarantee the safety of my members, I was left with no option than to declare strike until the matter being resolved.
Okay, now we also we understand that the national body is in a way detaching itself from this strike and is asking your union to stop it. Can you confirm this? And if it's true, how do you react to it?
It is true, the letter has been communicated to me, but it caught me by surprise because to my best of knowledge, it is unwarranted. Why should the national body disassociate themselves from our struggle for the collective interest of all our members? Whatever I say, I speak the minds of all my members. And being their chairman, I am representing them. And the purpose of any union is to protect and safeguard the interest of members. All we have been asking the chief judge to provide are for the benefit of our members. Why should the national disassociate themselves? I think the best thing they ought to have done is to consider those claims, those demands, if they are true or not. But as I'm speaking, I believe general public must have misconstrued the national body because I remain their chairman and member of that union up to today.
Okay, so in the moment we are aware that the state government have maintained their stance on the chief judge and all of that, but what is the way forward with regards to what your union has decided to do and the state government's current stance on all that's going on? Is there any hope of a resolution anytime soon?
First and foremost, let us draw a kind of distinction between the process of the state government and that of JUSUN. They are two separate things. Ours is about protecting the interests of our members. Whatever transfer between the legislature, executive, and judiciary is none of our own business. Because there is a doctrine of separation of power between them, and we don't want to involve ourselves in such. But as regards our own issue, the way out, it's simple. We have Judicial Service Commission. Now, the Conference of Judges have waded in, and they have proposed to dialogue with us that without dialogue, our matter cannot be resolved. But I still stand to say this, that even the Conference of Judges doesn't have that power to attend to our demands. They don't have the statutory power. We can only honor them being the header in the Temple of Justice, and perhaps they can use their office to talk to the Honorable Chief Judge, but they cannot effect anything we want. It is only the Judicial Service Commission that has that power. And I would want to say in a simple term, if Judicial Service Commission can sit and deliberate on our issue, then our matter will be resolved.
All right then. Thank you very much, Mr. Eludire, for joining us on the program this morning.
I'm grateful. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Mr. Olugbenga Eludire is the chairman of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, in Osun State, whose members went on an indefinite strike over 48 hours ago with regards to some concerns which they have against the leadership of the state's Chief Justice, Justice Adegbele Uju. Stay close, more conversations coming up. Next, it is Entertainment Now. Don't go anywhere.
This is Now Breakfast.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
You're listening to Now Breakfast.
From the north to the south, real people.
So like I said to you, it's some serious elements of the outdone end of issue of my party whose tenure elapsed, who are pleading with me to endorse an illegal extension, and I refuse to be a part of any illegality.
Real stories every morning.
Most of the IDP, they stay in schools, and once they move in schools, when there is a disaster, the school in that area is automatically shut down.
This is Today in the News on Now Breakfast.
This is Now Breakfast.
This is lifestyle. This is music. This is the movies. This is art. These are the stars behind the culture. This is Entertainment Now on Now Breakfast.
On Entertainment Now this morning, we are going to be talking about charting a new roadmap for the industry, talking about the entertainment or arts industry in the country. I'm talking $100 billion. Yes, indeed, $100 billion. That is how much the Ministry of Art, Culture and the creative industry want the country's creative sector to contribute to the nation's GDP by 2030. Now, the target essentially is a roadmap launched by the ministry yesterday. Now, the roadmap has 5 key pillars upon which the vision rests, which essentially include policy, legislative, regulatory and intellectual property reforms, as well as cultural plan and economic plan, the private sector engagement and Destination 2030, and Nigeria Everywhere. These combined will essentially have a bearing on where we are economically in the country. And joining us this morning to have a conversation regarding this, Anita Eboigbe, the Chief of Staff at Big Cabal Media and a co-founder of In Nollywood, joins us this morning. In Nollywood is a media company improving the quality of conversations in Nollywood. We will be having this conversation as to whether or not the plans of the federal government through the the vehicle, if you like, of entertainment and arts generally, will be able to yield that particular proceed to the economy. We take a short break, and when we come back, we get into the conversation. Stay close.
Babes, now how much be sanitary pad for your area?
Omo, na play we been dey play before. Everybody wey dey this place wey be human being, na pad dey buy take do period. She go bring her wrapper, cut all her wrapper wey she get. They use dey do period. This kind nonsense be this.
Ijoma, see what you are saying to your fellow woman who is in need. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ti pọ̀ jù.
Na so they use cloth now. Abi we no go chop first.
Auntie Ijoma, what did my mommy ever do to you? It's not fair.
Now, if a story be this, My Period, My Pride radio drama, Season 1. Now, Sanitary Pad Media Campaign Power Up with support from MacArthur Foundation
and Radio Now 95.3 FM every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This is lifestyle. This is music. This is the movies. This is art. These are the stars behind the culture. This is Entertainment Now on Now Breakfast.
Welcome back. It is Entertainment Now this morning, and we're talking about the $100 billion which the federal government wants to see the art, culture and creative industry rake in and contribute to the country's gross domestic product by the year 2030. Now, the target essentially is in a roadmap launched by the ministry yesterday. That roadmap has 5 key pillars upon which the vision rests, which include policy, legislative, regulatory and intellectual property reforms, cultural plans and economic plans as well. And the Chief of Staff at Big Cabal Media and co-founder of In Nollywood joins us this morning, Miss Anita Eboigbe. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, first of all, let's get your thoughts on these plans which the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Industry are embarking upon to yield huge returns in contribution to our GDP by the year 2030.
Yeah, so I think the plans are ambitious. It also shows that in terms of just the overall needs of the economy, the ministry has a strong sense as to what it needs to do. I like that the plans have been just sectored into various subsets. So you have the destination of 2030. I also just find it interesting that there's an actual figure, although I worry that sometimes we are very good at throwing vanity figures around. But overall, I think that just the direction at the initial stage that we're at right now works.
And now I'm very curious because just as you've said, and rightly so, many would see this as very ambitious and, in a manner of speaking, a bit impractical. However, before we talk about, what could happen 7 years from now, as, the projection is, it's important we know where we are at the moment. Just taking a look at what happens in the USA in just one portion of the creative sector there, Hollywood, we're talking about over 500 billion annually, and that's just 3.2% of the deliverables to the portion of their GDP, and all of that, as you were. So you just taking that or using that as a case study, where are we in the country's creative sector? Have we been able to adequately harness so far the resources that are at our disposal, both human and otherwise?
I mean, we have the creative industry has practically been self-started. So you have just people trying to make do with what they have and just reaching out and creating the opportunities and collaboration. And so we're at the place now where a lot of the individual efforts have yielded as much results as it can without the support that it needs to get that seems like it's going to come at this point. We're currently a very strong contributor to the Nigerian economy and the GDP. We are at a place where there's a lot of global recognition for our work, but a lot of the structure that needs to happen for the wealth from that to come back home has not been put in place. So while there's just strides that nobody can deny, and Nigerian culture, especially from the creative side, is becoming synonymous with just the way that the world is seeing African culture. There's just still room for us to be able to transform that the ways into monetary value and just into structures that help us build out the economy back home as well as possible.
Now, just before you go, because of time actually, the plan essentially, as lofty and as grandiose it is, it's subsumed into a number of pillars, as it were. We're talking policy, legislative, regulatory and intellectual property, cultural plan and economic plan, as it were. Broad strokes, how do you see this panning out with regards to challenges or pitfalls and all of that?
Yeah, so I think there's one big pitfall, and during the roundtable, it was one of the things that came up. Is just in terms of how we intend to carry out implementation, so that it's properly represented, and that everybody. And that there's clarity in the way that we're executing these things. I think that people are also just quite skeptical about the promises of lofty aspirations because it has come and gone in previous administrations. But overall, the bigger issue would really be implementation and ensuring that the plans that we're executing are not too far off from the realities that come up, because the creative economy and the creative industry is very volatile, it's very dynamic as well. Several things come up every day. So it's just really to see how dynamic the implementation of these things will be.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this morning on the program, Ms. Aboigbe.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Ms. Anita Boigbe is the Chief of Staff at Big Cabal Media and a co-founder of In Nollywood, a media company improving the quality of conversations in Nollywood. She's joined us to give us her thoughts on this plan and whether or not it can come to fruition in the near future. And that's it on Entertainment Now. Up next is News Extra here on Now Breakfast. Stay close.
This is lifestyle. This is music. This is the movies. This is art. These are the stars behind the culture. This is Entertainment Now on Now Breakfast.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Announcer, FSRCC.
For every news story, there's more.
So we can write the best security architecture plan, but it remains an essay until it becomes manifest on ground.
More detail.
Every time you are doing reform, even when we were doing it 2006, 2007, the question is also that it's not the right time. When will be the right time?
More than just the headline. This is News Extra on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
News Extra this morning. Considering the harsh economic realities in the country today, the transformation agenda seems to be the goal of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In a bid to achieve this, he is trying to get foreign direct investments into the country for economic growth. This includes the gas exports deal that the country signed with Germany, the $500 million renewable energy deal that has been signed, and the $14 billion in investment pledges that he got in India while attending the G5 summit. Now, what this all means for the country is what a number of Nigerians are asking, and what impact will it have on the economy? When will we start to see, if you like, or reap the harvest of these investments? That is the question. We're being joined this morning by development economist Professor Sharifdeen Teller. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Right, first of all, let's get your thoughts on the impact, immediate or otherwise, that these investments or these moves being made by the Tinubu-led administration will have on the economy.
Actually, the foreign direct investment is useful for any economy, in the sense that there is no economy that can grow without support from the outside. And foreign direct investment, when you have industries coming in like that, they come in also with new technology, and they also serve as a competitor for the domestic industry. So that competition will bring about improved output, which means, of course, that it will also assist in employment generation for the country. So if we have the way that we are now, there are a lot of shortages of funds. So the domestic industries are not doing well. They need expansion. We don't have the fund to fund them. But when we have the foreign direct investment, they complement and reduce the gap, the production gap that we have. So apart from the fact that they will come in and start producing and therefore make available variety of goods, because it's not just any company. The government will have to look at our needs and make sure that those that are coming in are also going to use our raw materials there. So that one will assist in building the shortage of products that we have. When we have that, it will also, of course, like I said, improve employment in the economy, provided those
companies are not capital-intensive companies that are coming in. If they are labor-intensive, they will generate sufficient employment and reduce unemployment rate. We also have variety of products that we not have ordinarily. They bring in new technology from which even domestic producers can also learn some lessons anyway. So there are a lot of benefits that we are going to derive from it. But of course, we must make sure that we have the environment that is conducive for them to come. That is what I can say for now.
Right. Now, we are also curious as to how, on the face of it all, this overarching effort by Mr. President is going to trickle down to the everyday Nigerian. And we know that, okay, yes, just as you've said, it's going to, for every other country of the world who wants to see their economy thrive, they need these foreign partnerships, as it were, FDIs. But the average Nigerian on the street who can barely afford anything, and possibly doesn't know where their next meal is going to come from, how does it exactly touch them? Can you give us an insight or give us more insight?
No, if they are producing here, it will be cheaper than than importing processed products, because it won't involve foreign exchange anymore. They'll be producing here, and so the cost of production is what you should assist, and making sure that the cost of production is not rising fast. Because if they produce here, it will be cheaper than imported ones. And so Nigerians will be able to improve, to purchase them. The fact that they are going to generate additional income, going to get people employed. When they are employed, it's not for free. They are going to get a fund from that. They are going to get salary and all those things. So if it improves the income of people, definitely it is beneficial in that sense. So it's not about whether we can afford, because if they are the goods that we normally import and they have now come to produce it here, it's supposed to be cheaper.
Okay. Now, is this something that we could possibly start to see in the near future?
Yeah, well, I think that depends on the agreement that is reached. And that also depends on the environment that we provide here, because it's not enough for the president to go around. Those people too will come and do their own research and see whether we have a conducive environment for them to come in. So once the environment is conducive for them to come in and they start coming in, I think within 12 months, 18 months, we should be able to see their impact on the economy.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you, too, for having me.
Right. Professor Sharifdeen Teller is a development economist, and he has given us his thoughts on what the impact of the current administration's moves to better the lot of Nigerians would have on us generally, and I say us quite deliberately, and what it would have on us in the near future, and what it would look like for the general populace here in Nigeria. That is it on News Extra this morning. Stay close. It is the News Review. Up next, I am David Chiedu. Good morning.
You're listening to Now Breakfast.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Connect with us now via our social media channels, facebook.com/RadioNow953FM.
We're on Twitter too. Connect with us there and get involved.
At Radio Now 953FM. 953FM. Like what we do? Share it on your socials and tell everyone.
Want to see some more of us? Head over and meet us on Instagram
at Radio Now 953FM. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Please, officer, now. I know to make money today, I beg now. Hey! Laolu!
Today is the day you are going to pay for all your sins.
Something exciting out of the stables of Sanitary Pad Media Campaign.
No, Fulani. I know well, wallahi. Since yesterday, my stomach, I dey pain now. I no sleep.
Yeah. A radio drama soap, My Period, My Pride.
This woman, come on for road. You know they look your back. Come on for road, this woman, huh? Come on for road.
My Period, My Pride, an advocacy tool for the provision of free sanitary pads for schoolgirls in Nigeria, powered by Sanitary Pad Media Campaign with support from MacArthur Foundation
and Radio Now 95.3 FM.
My Period, My Pride, Season 1, The Story of Efi.
Every Saturday at 10 a.m.
It's time. This December, hang on to your hat for a scintillating radio experience. Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos presents The Rejig, featuring Now Breakfast, Now Midday, Now Express, and Now Drive Time. Brace yourself. The jig will get you. Coming soon.
News and information go around every second. The ones who deliver it and how matter. We give you depth, substance from the real sources.
I made statements in that regard, and the first point I called was the National Working Committee.
There wasn't any agreement between Bashir Machina and Ahmad Lawan.
DPO, the divisional police officer who is on ground there, went there.
Also giving you a more human angle on the events that matter.
We are not people that live in mansions, but we are people that live in these localities, and the people are afraid to
That's so many issues there in area boys. Then we now went to...
Let's cut the convention and rather have a conversation. Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos. We go beyond the news. Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Connect with us now via our social media channels, facebook.com/RadioNow953FM.
We're on Twitter too. Connect with us there and get involved.
At Radio Now 953FM. 953FM. Like what we do? Share it on your socials and tell everyone.
Want to see some more of us? Head over and meet us on Instagram
at Radio Now 953FM. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Let's go beyond the news. Let's talk facts.
First and foremost, the government will never kowtow to the threat of any group to give it conditions.
Let's discuss your opinion.
The politicians in Nigeria don't understand the principle of politics.
Today's biggest news stories.
IPOB has been covered in themselves in glory. There is nothing special about them. It's like a witch cried at night and the child died falling morning.
This is the news review on Now Breakfast.
Welcome again to the news review here on Now Breakfast on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. I am David Chiedu, and it's a Friday, TGIF, the 24th of November 2023. Let's do this one. Let's have your thoughts, perhaps on the stories that have made the rounds during the course of the week, and where we are today. That's the ones that we either have read about or heard about in the last 24 hours. Let's get your thoughts. 091 35000 953 0901 111 1953. Those are the numbers to call. And then, of course, on WhatsApp, do us a solid, and yours too. Have that saved on your mobile. It'll save you, as I always say. If you save the numbers, they will save you. So have them saved. 0809 682 2595. That's on WhatsApp. All right, so I'm looking at the dailies this morning, and there's a few interesting things jumping at me that worth having conversations about. But of course, I'm going to let you. You've got carte blanche right now. You've got leeway to pick and choose, right? So I'm looking at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Kano residents panic as APC set for mass rally tomorrow. There's going to be a rally and a counter rally, or a protest and a counter process. You know how these things go. It's politics, and politicians would always do what they need to do to make a loud statement. So whilst the aggrieved NNPP are looking to rattle the state, the major opposition APC that were formerly the incumbent in that state are also looking to make a statement by countering whatever the NNPP is throwing at them. That will be very interesting to see tomorrow. It will be it will be interesting, very interesting. And then of course Kaduna farmers in dilemma over bandits imposing levies before harvest. That is heartbreaking. It essentially underscores where we are, and if farmers cannot farm, then it means you and I cannot eat, and if we cannot eat, well, that's the grim picture which I intended to paint. And just think about it. Then again, there is former CBN governor and current Anambra State governor, Professor Soludo, saying that the government of the current administration, that's Mr. President Tinubu's administration, inherited a dead economy. He went on to mention a couple of things with regards to why we are where we are, the indices, and all the other things that contributed to us, arriving at this, so to speak, this brick wall, if you like, that we have hit, or this iceberg that the Nigerian ship, has come in contact with or has hit. So he spoke about monies being printed illegally. Essentially the problem was that the CBN under the former administration were illegagly printing money, which was completely and totally contravention of the 2017 or 2007 Act governing the CBN, or the financial institution as it were. Total violation of it, and that we had no business doing that. And the people who should have said something about it were more or less sat with arms crossed, or arms folded and legs crossed, essentially. Which brings to mind what the governor of Edo State, Mr. Obaseki, some time ago said, the alarm he raised, and then I think there was a response or a retort that his claims were bogus. I reckon that was what was said at the time, and then others called him, all sorts, that he was trying to be funny with his reactions. He was trying to be funny with his words, but these things always find a way to come right back and bite us in the ass, in the rear, as he were, because you find that Mr. Soludo has come out right now, who we know made some strides in the what's it called, in the financial sector when he was the CBN boss at the time. So he did say that a number of these things are true, and that, be that as it may, it was huge illegality going on in the sector under the previous administration. But then again, you also want to ask yourself, it is the same party. Yeah, but if you want to remove, partisan affiliation and just talk about the core of it or the meat of it, which is governance, which Mr. Buhari headed, which Mr. Buhari was in charge of. You also want to, demand, if you like, some sort of accountability or an account of what really happened under his purview while he was president, because you can't talk about this thing, talk about these things without including the person who was a number one citizen, of whom you have to go to in most cases for, if not all anyway, for the final penning over the dotted lines, which is his sole responsibility, essentially, But we're going to continue the conversation very shortly. This is the news review on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and the headlines comes up very, very shortly. After that, we get into some more conversations here on the news review. This is Now Breakfast.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Across Nigeria, Africa, and the world, this is Radio Now News.
Headline news this morning on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. In local news, Lagos impounds 15 tankers for indiscriminate parking. Tension in Kano as APC and NNPP fix protest for Saturday. 83 Nigerian scholars depart for Morocco under bilateral education agreement. Governor Bello freezes Kogi accounts. And in business and economy, cooking gas price rises to 9.6% to 5,000. And in entertainment, Enrique Iglesias announces retirement from music after a 30-year career. On the foreign scene, Niger coup leader visits Mali counterpart in first foreign trip. And to sports, Dani Alves facing 9-year jail term over rape charges. And now, those are the headlines this morning on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Many thanks for listening. I am David Chiedu. Now breakfast continues with the news review shortly. Good morning.
This is Radio Now News.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
Connect with us now via our social media channels. Facebook.com/Radio Now 953FM.
We're on Twitter too. Connect with us there and get involved.
At Radio Now 953FM. 953FM. Like what we do? Share it on your socials and tell everyone.
Want to see some more of us? Head over and meet us on Instagram
at Radio Now 953FM. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
It's time. This December, hang on to your hat for a scintillating radio experience. Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos presents The Rejig, featuring Now Breakfast, Now Midday, Now Express, and Now Drive Time. Brace yourself. The jig will get you. Coming soon.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
This is Now Breakfast.
Welcome back. You're listening to Now Breakfast on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and this is the news review. Hint, hint, the jig will get you. My name is David Chidu, and yes, we're going back to the review. The numbers are 091 35000 953, 0901 111 1953. Abi Bozimo joins us this morning as our guest on the news review. Good morning, Abi. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, David. Good morning to all.
Right. So let's
the wonderful business.
Yes, let's talk about the stories making the rounds this morning. We could just go through it and then, talk about the ones that seem to make the most impression on you. High OpEx harsh environment, Hubble industrial revival, and jobs. That is on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Pretty interesting times we're in economically, Abi, and let's hear your thoughts first of all. Let's start with that.
I would definitely say this is a headline that at the same time causes reason to worry and can give us some opportunity because it paints a way forward. Operating expenses, diesel, power, fuel, logistics, taxes, the environment for businesses and manufacturing especially is very, very harsh. Does not surprise you sometimes that there are some items we could manufacture easily in Nigeria because we have the people, we have the energetic populace, we have the intellect, but you can import them cheaper from 5,000 kilometers away in China. Why is that? Because they have made that environment very, very productive. There are areas the size of Lekki, for instance, the entire Lekki, where all they do is sell kitchen cabinets. All they do is sell toilet facilities. I was blown away when I got to see they are so productive and so competitive that you can hardly compete with them. But when I went, I spoke with some people. We said, look, we want you to come and do this in our country, being the patriotic guy I am. And they looked at me and said, hey, of course, we can come and do it as long as you guys have steady power and steady road and good roads. And I looked at my colleague and we just shook our head in a Nigerian way. You see,
Go on, AB. We can hear you.
It's a way out of Nigeria because it kills many birds with one stone. You can hire a lot of people. You are getting rid of the employment problem. As you're getting rid of the unemployment problem, you are improving your security. You are getting tax revenue from their income. You are improving the overall sense of well-being of the populace. And therefore, as a political leader, you are gaining directly for yourself. But for some reason, we prefer to take our funds outside of this country, put them in other parts of the world, and come here and mouth what I consider platitudes. An industrial revival would do so much to change the fortunes of this country. The whole Japa syndrome could at least be addressed. No, everybody has the right to decide where they want to live. That's not the question. But for some people, they feel it's a desperate thing. I think if you want to travel and live elsewhere, feel free. But others should have the option of living here and living decent lives. So you're talking about power, I think, is the number one thing that kills industry in Nigeria. And not just industry, hospitality, everything else. But we're talking industry right now. I heard of a company once that spent then 5, 6, 7 years ago, spent nearly ₦1 billion. A factory right there in Lagos, nearly ₦1 billion on power. Think who pays for it? You and me, because they simply divide it into their products and we all pay for it. The amounts of monies we hear being dedicated to, things that I feel are not priority, if it were plowed into our power sector, the results would be tremendous. And in 3 to 5 years, you might not recognize this country again.
Right, 091 35,000 953 0901 111 1953. Those are the numbers to call. Also on WhatsApp 0809 682 2595. Again, it's 0809 682 2595. Those are the numbers to text and to call. We have got Etim joining us on the news review. Hi Etim. Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
It has been long.
Oh yes, it has been. So what are your thoughts?
My submission is on the Soludo.
Right. Him saying that we are running a dead economy, or that the current administration came in and met a dead economy.
Where was he when all that was happening? Was he not part of that government, member of the economic committee? It's a technical. Go to Anambra State, people are crying, are paying taxes, multiple taxes with their nose. Sometimes, either this month or last month, the Agro in charge of revenue collectors in Anambra State is it a trailer to the point of lynching, attacking, even launching it to death. So what is he saying? Let him say what he meant as a governor inherited from Peter Biano. The bailout fund that Buhari paid 3 times to governors to offset the bailout of pensions and gratuity and the salaries of workers in the state. Those governors, they just paid the money back to the government. They just paid those money to these people that Buhari targeted as of that time. Buhari, I know there's some, some corruption that happened under his watch, but Buhari did not purchase. It's not only just like Shehu Shagari. How many property can they say Buhari at Dubai, US, UK, in any part of the world?
But can I ask you a question, Etim? The fact that there weren't any overt revelations of what former Mr. President had or didn't have, does it preclude his administration from being responsible for the damage that was done to the Nigerian economy over the 8-year over his 8-year tenure? Because he might be, quote and unquote, I'm not saying he is or he isn't, I'm just saying he may be perceived as not being being a right-standing individual. But if you are a right-standing individual and you have other people around you who contributed in the finest way possible to the disintegration, or if you like, the desecration of the economy, doesn't that make you complicit?
If Buhari do anything funny, do it under Buhari wash, let the present administration go after them.
Exactly.
Just like Buhari went after Jonathan Men, Dansuki, Olisametu, then others. And Buhari, under Buhari, he procured the highest military hardware for the military.
All right.
And even they are still receiving them as paid. So people should sit up, and Tinubu should know that he's not going to offer Nigeria a security campaign in 2027. You should know that Buhari is not going to be on the ballot. If Buhari has done anything wrong, he should call his men to order. Just like if somebody look at the budget,
Dr. Paul is on the line.
The National Assembly, look at the SCV, 150,000.
Etim, thank you very much. Dr. Paul is on the line.
You are living beyond your means.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Etim. Dr. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, David. And
Ibi. Yes, Ibi is with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go on.
I'm surprised. Even I'm not sure that some people are still defending Buhari. They have been doing that since the man has come off in 2015. The same color has been. When we say it's a member of APC, that is what they are known for. If Nigeria is a country where maybe it is like there's a kind of affinity to a sign that when they're in office, where you live, don't probably have a president. it arrests those around me. Just like what MFL is offering now. The main person that brought that precious and irresponsible money to him is still telling me he left Nigeria better than he made it. I'm talking of Muhammadu Buhari. You don't blame them. Another one now telling you he has done his best, supposed to be in Guinness Book of Records. Because I don't know how we are going to get out of the type of character ruling this country. They can't take it anyway. The glorious president of themselves always. You see, I'm not surprised. Soludo once said that the economy is like dead horse standard. Dead horse standard. I'm putting him. They're there. Just like what is happening now. I heard that Oshimole, George Akume and all of this, they want Buhari to come and tell them why the economy under his watch. They doesn't happen. And many of them will be concerned that President come or you see to go after it. They don't. So like when Tinubu finished his 4 years now, if it's 2027, whether Tinubu perform or not, he will still win. I can bet anybody. God keep us all of our life Tinubu. 2027, even if the economy is where the government is going to there, he will still win the election. And here we're not let loose. After that, they say the power should go to the north. And we go to the north. Whatever the line is. So that's that.
All right.
See, then let me say briefly. You see, if Supreme Court want to save Kano State from violence or you see unimaginable and unthinkable violence, I don't want another what do you call him, Dan Tuche to be in that office again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. This is still the news review on Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos 091350953. Ibi, we're going to come to you shortly for your thoughts with regards to the former governor of the CBN, who is now the governor of Anambra State, Charles Soludo, who's given his thoughts on the economy, saying that the government of the day inherited a dead economy. And, a couple of other things that he said, including illegal printing of money by the former administration, which is in total contravention of the act. Hi, Elvis. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Your thoughts?
It is true that our economy today is not in balance. So now the question is, what are they doing about it? We have professors of economics, we have doctors of economics, and we have economic experts. Now, what are we doing with all these human capitals in our economics in our nation? Why are we not using their brain to help us, to salvage us from this catastrophe of economic that we are into? Yet we are bringing people on board who don't have idea about micro, macro, and balance of trade, putting them in a position to help us to manage the economy. That will not work. Nigeria is a big country, it's a nation. We should use our experts, our professors of economics. We should consult them to help us to grow, build, and balance the trade of investment in Nigeria. So thank you. That's my little contribution.
Thank you very much, Elvis. All right, Ibi, you want to respond to Elvis or Dr. Paul's or Etim's statement, who have all given their thoughts on the state of affairs of the Nigerian state at the moment, or our economy, which, according to some, has been totally obliterated, or given a KO by the former administration. Your thoughts?
I'll just anchor my comments on the broader story. I mean, I think we're all speaking about one story. The one-time CBN governor, current state governor of Anambra, made the statement that the Tinubu government inherited a dead or an economy beyond salvage. I ask, who is he telling, and why is he apparently, from my perspective alone, avoiding calling names? The economy didn't happen to itself. Somebody was at the head of the economy. The person.
Can you say that again?
Was the former president, watch Nigeria permanently inhabited, under whose watch Nigeria's economy permanently inhabited the halls of the poverty capital of the world. So you're now saying the economy like it's one abstraction. The economy is a collection of the leadership, the people working, their ability to work. Think about the last story we talked about, the work environment, the fact that power for all these years has not become available for industry or people. So you have the person who literally or figuratively fiddled while Nigeria burned, was seen in every capital of the world except his, at every excuse. The economy collapses, and then Soludo is coming to say, Tinubu, I'll ask this question, so what? I don't care what a person who sought a job met. I don't care what excuses may be put forth. All I care about is the result to reverse the rot. If you feel you must make comments about the cause of the rot, then make these comments full-throated. Identify the individuals who were in charge when this economy was quote-unquote rotting. Otherwise, don't display your cowardice in public. You don't have to say anything. Even if you are asked a direct question, you can dissimulate. President Muhammadu Buhari sat by while the country went from, you can call it bad before, to worst with a T. That's not correct English. I'm just making a Nigerianism. If you are going to say he inherited it from who? And even inheriting it, was it totally not connected at all with the former administration? So I don't know why that statement was made, but I think it enters the annals of one of the most empty and unnecessary pronouncements in the history of Nigeria. I don't care. Get?
All right. We've got George on the line.
Nigeria working is the mandate.
Right. Good morning, George.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Right. Tell us what's on your mind, George.
Yeah, the same topic about the economy, what former CBN governor said, which is the current governor of Anambra State. This thing is the same APC, because 2015 they took power from PDP. Our economy was one of the best in Africa. So when former president come on board, at the time, he said that he said that PDP government that they are not doing it well, that will come and do it. Under his watch, things begin to be changing to the extent that until he left office. Now another person has entered the same APC, that is President
Bola
Tinubu. Now, my question is that government is all about continuity, as my brother said here. Nigeria doesn't want to know. All Nigeria want to know is the person at that moment that is driving that motor. So, being a president of Nigeria, he doesn't need to come and tell us that he met this, he met that. There is other countries, like for instance, he can compare what happened in Rwanda to compare what is happening in Nigeria, which is propaganda. Come on board and change that country today. He can compare what happened in what they call this country, Liberia, when that woman came on board and make it a place to be a place Liberia to be a better place. So there is other countries that who are being in a, who have suffered a lot. But somebody come on board and change everything and make it a better country. So APC should not be coming and telling Nigeria that the main entities is from Mr. A, is from Mr. B. No. All Nigeria needs is what? Resource. Because you say you are better than the previous government. So Nigeria needs a resource. We don't need the schools. We need the damn warning. So thank you and God bless you people.
Thank you very much, George. Yes, and the thoughts are pouring in. 091 35,000 953, and it's just it's channeled mostly toward what we are seeing economically as far as the current administration is concerned, and that's essentially anchored on the CBN, or the former CBN governor and current governor of Anambra State, Mr. Charles Soludo, saying that we inherited the Tinubu administration inherited a dead economy. At sundry times, we've seen the president himself, as well as a couple of other people around him, saying the same thing. But the question still remains the same. What are you doing about it? That is one. And two, who are the individuals who were majorly culpable of the rot which we see? On WhatsApp, Kolawole Karim from Ijora says Tinubu did not inherit a dead economy. He inherited a sick economy, and he poisoned it by removing subsidy, poisoned it to death by removing subsidy and using the money to buy a yacht and bulletproof cars for government officials. Tinubu should resign. Ede is joining us this morning. Hi, Ede. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, show your thoughts. Go on.
About Kano.
What's happening there with the protest tomorrow? Yes.
You see, Kano. Anything they can do to stop Kano, because although I'm in Lagos, but I live in Kano. And I live at 94 Church Road in Kano. I know Kano too well. If you cannot start their trouble, they know the grill. I don't know what APC they prepare, NNPP they prepare. And you know that these judges, they have seen what they did. And that judgment we are talking about is not mistake. It's not any mistake. Nobody will say mistake. The only mistake is that the verdict or the verdict they want to give the governor was at the left-hand side. The other one is at the right-hand side. So he basically passed the one at the right to the court register. That's why you can't tell me that you can do that kind of mistake. So, but let's wait. But the only thing is that the government should do everything possible. Kano, if you cannot come inside this thing, you will see a lot of things on it. Majaris, they know bomb, they know tear gas, nothing concern them. I live in Kano. I know what Kano is all about.
All right, Ede. Okay. Thank you very much, Ede. All right, but we reckon it's just going to be, a mass. It's just going to be a peaceful protest or peaceful rally, and hopefully there wouldn't be any de-escalation into something worse. Hello, John. Morning. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you very much. How are you?
Okay. Charles Soludo is the victim of the abject failure that the Nigerian intelligentsia, unable to lead the country in a direction that brings progress after over 60 years of existence, unable to help the country devise ways and means to make itself stand tall in the Committee of Nations, even unable to do something as simple as read court judgment without typographical errors, or make procurement list without making errors. The Nigerian intelligentsia is an abject failure, a shame of a group of people that should have the backbone of their country. But no, what they do is that they cower under criminal elements who call themselves politicians, and they bow to their every whim and caprice. Because of every 4 years, they will carry their CV and parade around the corridors of power because they have absolutely nothing to offer their country. I remember one of my professors in school then told me that what's the point of going back to Nigeria? The most intelligent Nigerians don't live in Nigeria. And now he's vindicated. Even though then I was with all my nationalistic gusto telling him, I will show you what my country will. And anyway, have a great Friday. Have a happy weekend.
All right, John. Okay then, thank you very much. But back to Kolawole's message when he said that Tinubu did not inherit a dead economy, that he inherited a sick one and rather poisoned it to death by removing subsidy first of all and then using the money to buy yachts and bulletproof cars and others, right, for government officials, saying that he should resign. He has failed. Well, I wouldn't particularly say that it is time for anyone to judge Mr. President at this point in time. He is 6 months or thereabout into office, and you need at least the first tenor, or if that's putting it too far, or if that's taking it too far, you need at least the first 2 years of your administration before we start to cast aspersions or give you plaudits, as he were. And then, of course, broad strokes. You need a full tenor before anyone can, convincingly assess you as to whether or not you succeeded or you failed. So I don't think there is any ground whatsoever to call for Mr. President's resignation in the moment. Yes, things are hard, but it's more or less occupational hazard, rocky starts to any venture that you take on in any field of endeavor. However, the talk about the yards and whatnot. Well, we know that the federal government, after that revelation the other time in the media, they came, and then of course the corresponding outrage or backlash, they came out to set the record straight with regards to the yachts, the bulletproof vehicles and all that, clearing the misconception, if you like, and the misunderstanding on the issue. So what was named as the presidential yacht in the budget is an operational naval boat. This is according to the federal government. It's an operational naval boat with specialized security gadgets that are suitable for high-profile operational inspection and not for the use of Mr. President himself, not for his personal use. Yeah, it is the presidential yacht by way of name, because of the high-level security feature that it possesses. So, no, Kolawole, Mr. President did not use the money to buy a yacht. Well, this is according to him, essentially, right? Yeah. Anyway, Ebi, you want to react to John and Ede's comment earlier?
I mean, John is not alone in terms of despair. Some days I wake up more despairing than others. But the core thing, when we talk about that presidential yacht, let's say two things clearly. The subsidy was actually removed by the previous president. However, he did not have the cojones to announce it. So it is not a matter of the current president removing it. What the current president did is implementation. So somebody made the decision but didn't have what it took to back it up. In an earlier iteration, a previous president, made a decision and decided to remove subsidy, but that's history. Now, presidential is a term, like in a hotel, there's a presidential suite. The president doesn't stay there. So just like you said, it's a term, according to the Navy, which is meant to indicate just how prestigious or sophisticated it is. But, we still talk about distrust between the people and the government, which has existed for a long time.
Ebi, we're losing you there. We're losing you. Ebi, can you hear me? Ebi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, can you repeat? Can you
I'm hearing
repeat?
you, sir.
Yes, can you repeat what you said a few seconds ago? We lost you there. The connection was a bit dodgy.
Sorry about that. I said people have a lot of distrust of government, so they don't easily take the explanations or clarifications that the government gives us. But the presidential yacht is just a highly sophisticated battlecraft for Nigerian Navy to use.
Right. Okay. We seem to be losing you, Ibi. All right, let me go back to WhatsApp. The number there is 080968225595. Kareem as well says, in my opinion, I think the voters bear the largest responsibility of the failure that this country is getting, because when we keep electing incompetent leaders, like timing and making, you should know that the consequence is hunger and other agents of low standards of living. There are competent people like me, he says, and others who can turn our states to Dubai in less than 8 years, but you won't vote for us. You will rather vote for a governor who thinks streetlights and motor parks are more important than investing in factories and agriculture and electricity. Nigeria has money. It is the way of our leaders. It is the way our leaders spend the money that is the problem. Interesting. And Tony joins us this morning from Aja. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right?
David. David.
Okay, David. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I want to be very objective. I understand that everybody is talking about results, but the truth is that, you know, I've gone to companies where I've anchored leadership, and I've seen damages that the past management have actually caused in the company. And, you know, it takes time to adjust. You know, it's not really bad if somebody says, oh, I met a dead economy, or I met a sinking economy. There's the possibility is there. Telling the person to implement or execute or go into execution may not be that easy as we speak. So let me take, for example, if I come into a state and I realize that my student is just as one item is paying debt. I have debtors, let's say 10 of them, who are on the net of the management, the past management, and I came in and I am expected to pay them. I look at the revenue, I see that the revenue is almost zero. What do? I need to borrow to even, get into work. That's the fact. And who do I borrow from? Is it the same debtors who are chasing me, or a new debtor? So it's the way we can look at it. The fact is that the only thing I don't like is that most of these people who make these comments are the people in the same system. That is the issue that I have. They are the same people in the system. These are the same names I know since I was a child till today. I still hear that name. So that's why it doesn't make sense to me. So they know what they've done. They know how they scatter the economy. But I can still tell you that it is still fair enough for somebody to say, oh, I met a sinking economy, and maybe he needs time to do one or two things. It's really not bad. And going into execution, like your analyst said, yes, it's the fact that's what they want. But again, money is what we use to run economy, and again, it's not available. If it is not available, the guy will begin to look at option. If it is debting or something that he needs, who is he going to borrow for? Is it borrow from? Is it going to be new person for the same people who are on your neck, and the revenue that you are talking about is not coming? Thanks.
Thank you very much for calling us. And Ibi, very quickly, your final thoughts.
I differ slightly with the last caller. I agree there can be challenges, but the steps you take when you meet challenges tell me personally where your mind is. You come into a supposed inherited dead economy, and your priority is buying foreign vehicles. I'm sorry, you are not acting like a person who recognizes that there are challenges that need to be done. As a leader of the country, you already have everything taken care of. It's the ordinary people you are supposed to serve. If you are not serving them, and instead, in my view, serving yourselves, then you are not acting as if you recognize that the economy has challenges. It's your actions I'll measure you with, and your priorities display to me that you are trying to live a sybaritic life rather than one of service.
All right then, that's where we are going to end this edition of the News Review for today. TGIF, about to have an early start to the weekend. Abi, I don't know about you, but yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be around here. But thank you for joining us this morning, Abi. Many thanks indeed.
Thank you, David. If you agree or disagree, hit me up at Abi Bozidimo on all social media platforms.
Absolutely. You do that, and then you and Abi can have a conversation. And thank you as well for listening and for calling in. We're going to do this again on Monday at the same time. But Aramide Aramoni is standing by for all the latest in the world of business. She's going to let you in on those. Stay close. I am David Chiadu. Now breakfast continues shortly.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
It's time. This December, hang on to your hat for a scintillating radio experience. Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos presents The Rejig, featuring Now Breakfast, Now Midday, Now Express, and Now Drive Time. Brace yourself. The jig will get you. Coming soon.
Every second and every minute, something new happens. The news brings.
3 people at a spot, and angry mob decided to burn.
Everyone wants to share it, but not everyone wants to dig deep. Now that's where we come in. We bring you the news and go beyond with in-depth conversations and analysis with stakeholders.
I honestly think that the federal government on its own part has broken.
If voters or more people want to be part of that decision-making process, they need to be part.
This is not a good measure of development anyways. We are not there yet. We need to counter the narrative of the fact that their vote does not count. If their vote does not count.
We bring you the story within the story, and that's what makes us tick. We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and we go beyond the news.
From the Central Business District of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, this is 95.3 Business Now.
It's a very good Friday, the 24th of November. A warm welcome to the program, everyone. I am Army Dave Olorosho. These are your business quick takes. Nigeria is looking to increase its crude oil output ahead of OPEC Plus meeting due November the 30th, which will decide the amount of oil the country should pump in 2024. And that's according to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company. The Chief Corporate Communications Officer at NNPC, Olufemi Shoneye, stated in an interview with Reuters news agency that Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producer, currently produces 1.7 million barrels per day of crude and condensate, with an expected increase to 1.8 million barrels by the end of the year. He also outlined plans to include crude and condensate output to around 2 million barrels per day by the end of the first quarter of 2024, with the aim of reaching 2.5 million barrels in the next few years. A high court in the United Kingdom on Thursday ruled that the Ogali and Bele communities in Nigeria can proceed with their landmark human rights claims against multinational energy company Shell Petroleum over severe oil pollution in the Niger Delta region. This decision marks an important moment in a protracted 8-year legal battle, signaling a potential shift in holding multinational corporations accountable for environmental damage abroad. Nigeria Central Bank Governor Olayemi Cardoso is set to unveil the CBN's monetary policy thrust and economic outlook for 2024 at the annual Bankers' Dinner in Lagos today. The event will provide the new CBN chief the opportunity to address the banking industry executive and others on economic and financial markets, as well as the economic outlook for the coming year. The federal government has announced the launch of a portal for the Startup Support and Engagement Portal. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, says the portal, which is a key requirement of the implementation of the Nigeria Startup Act, is designed to drive the identification and aggregation of startups in the country. Global alternative lending market is projected to grow by 17.0% annually to reach $662.3 billion in 2023. That's according to the Research on Markets Global Alternative Lending Business Report 2023. The report says a medium to long-term growth story of the market remains strong as alternative lending adoption is expected to grow steadily over the forecast period, recording a compound annual growth rate of 10.1% during 2023 to 2027. The report added that global alternative lending market will increase from $556 million in 2022 to reach $971.6 million by the year 2027. The Monetary Policy Committee of South Africa's Reserve Bank stuck to its previous hawkish tone on Thursday as it kept its repo rate unchanged at 8.25% and holding the country's prime lending rate at 11.75%. FCRB Governor Lesotho Hayako says the Monetary Policy Committee would remain vigilant and stand ready should risks start to materialize. Well, coming up after the break, Kenya is hosting the two-day annual meetings of the African Securities Exchanges, which wraps up later today. Join us again, everyone.
This is 95.3 Business Now.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
Connect with us now via our social media channels. Facebook.com/RadioNow953FM.
We're on Twitter too. Connect with us there and get involved.
At Radio Now 953FM. 953FM. Like what we do? Share it on your socials and tell everyone.
Want to see some more of us? Head over and meet us on Instagram
at Radio Now 953FM. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
This is 95.3 Business Now.
Welcome back to Business Now. Kenyan President William Ruto says Africa must work on enhancing the efficiency of their capital markets in order to make them more resilient, as stock exchanges play a significant role in mobilizing domestic resources. President Ruto was speaking on Thursday at the opening of the 2023 annual summit of all African securities exchanges in Nairobi, where discussions were held around market liquidity, digital technology, cross-border trading, the IPO market, and more. Let's take a listen.
African capital markets have the potential to play a significant role in channeling funds into projects that combat climate change and promote environmental sustainability. If you didn't hear anything of my statement, please, just this paragraph is enough for you. You know, just see the opportunity therein. As we have this conversation globally, and that is why even we have the COP28. As we have this global conversation, know that the opportunity exists. And you are at the intersection of that opportunity. As government, finally, we will do our part. In the context of all these trends, it is vital for governments to actively support the growth and development of capital markets. And as I told you in Kenya, I have promised the capital markets here that we will reorganize the law. The law gave us problems. We have now sorted out the law. We have identified the first 35 companies that we are going to offer to the private sector. We have close to another 100 that we are working with our financial advisors on what to do and what portions to let out. For example, we have very otherwise would be lucrative companies, but they are trapped in government bureaucracy, when the services they are offering can actually be better offered by the private sector. So we will make these opportunities available, and I want to tell our Kenyan private sector, the public, that opportunity is coming for them to be part of the cake that we have all baked as Kenyans by being part owners of some of our good companies, or buying some of the companies that would better be run by the private sector, and allow government to do what we must do. It is very instructive for me, because I know very well that if we can unlock the potential in many of the companies, especially those that are trapped in government bureaucracy, allow them to flourish as private sector companies, they will employ more people, they will generate more resources, and they will pay more taxes. Yeah, I know that's a very important subject in Kenya nowadays. Governments can play, as I said, a crucial role by implementing favorable policies, regulatory frameworks, and infrastructure to facilitate the expansion and integration of our markets. Initiatives such as tax incentives, simplified regulation processes, and fostering financial literacy can significantly contribute to market growth. I would want to know from the Kenyan markets players what additionally they want us to do as government, so that we can make it easier for them, agile, flexible, for them to do more in our capital markets. Furthermore, partnerships between governments and market participants, including exchanges and regulators, can lead to more effective market development. Supportive regulatory frameworks, investor protection, and innovative financing mechanisms are also essential for the sustainability of our capital markets. As we discussed today, vital themes and unlocking Africa's stock exchange potential for sustainable economic development, I encourage all stakeholders in our capital markets to collaborate, innovate, and adhere to the highest standards of ethics and responsibility. Our future, ladies and gentlemen, and the prosperity of our great continent depends on the health and vitality of our markets. Today, I have recognized 10 companies joining the unquoted security market segments of NSE, Nairobi Stock Exchange, also, or Nairobi Security Exchange, as I was told, also known as Soko Rahisi. This is a key development for the country, noting that the growth of our economies will be funded by these segments of our economy, with the MSME sector comprising 80% of our formal economy. My government will continue to support this key sector. I want to encourage companies to tap into the capital markets to power the growth of their companies and also our economy. In conclusion, let me express my utmost confidence in the future of African capital markets. With our collective determination and the dedication of all those present here today, we can build markets that are transparent, efficient, and impactful, capable of driving economic growth and fostering sustainable development. I wish you all a successful and productive conference, and I look forward to witnessing the positive change and progress that will undoubtedly emerge from the exchanges and discussions that will take place here.
This is 95.3 Business Now.
That was Kenyan President William Ruto speaking at the opening of the African Securities Exchanges Summit in Nairobi on Thursday. Well, let's walk you through the Thursday's trading day. We're starting with equities. Local birds traded marginally higher in Thursday's session as buying interest in JITCO 1.96% positive, Zenith Bank 0.30%, Unity Bank also saw a whopping 9.74%. Then we've got Oando 2.13%, Transcorp 0.33%, and CI Leasing 7.98%. On the pin, a 0.07% increase in the NGX All Share Index. So across Frontier Africa, the Egyptian index finished the week with a strong 1.96%, while the Kenya Bus dipped by 0.12%. That's on profit booking as big banks and investment firms released their earnings on the NSE, that's the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Here in West Africa, the regional exchange in Abidjan posted a 0.11% gain, while the Ghana stock market remained flattish. However, in Southern Africa, the Zimbabwe stock market reported a 0.74% increase. The JSE in South Africa also edged higher by 0.98% at the close of trading. So back on Broad Street, overnight lending rate among commercial banks in Nigeria jumped by 150 basis points to 26.7% following the debit for the Nigerian Treasury bill net issuance of 453.58 billion naira, and the Nigerian Treasury bill's secondary market activities were bullish. Average yield narrowed by 10 basis points to 12.6%. Then we've got the Treasury bond secondary market that traded on a bearish note as the average yield increased by 20 basis points to 16.1%. Bond trading on the FMDQ Securities Exchange was a whooping 301.76 billion naira. That's the highest turnover since the week start as investors hunt for yield on the back of rising inflation, printing 27.33% last month. Now let's check foreign exchange. The naira was badly bruised on Thursday by the US dollar at the official window by 12.1% to 956 naira 33 kobo. The naira had depreciated close to 17% since the week started. And oil prices, Brent crude futures rose in early Asian trade on Friday, reversing losses in the previous session as traders speculated on whether OPEC Plus will come to an agreement on further production cuts. So we look at Brent crude futures that gained 29 cents or 0.4% to $81.71 a barrel after settling down 0.7% in the previous session. The US West Texas Intermediate crude slid 38 cents or 0.5%, recording $76.72 a barrel from its Wednesday's close, and there was no settlement for WTI on Thursday. That's due to Thanksgiving holiday in the United States. Well, that's the package on Business Now this Friday, the 24th. Join us again bright and early on Monday. Thank you so much for listening. I am Aramide Folorunsho. It's bye for now.
This is 95.3 Business Now.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
I'm Chris. I'm a trader operating a chain of supermarkets. I engage in monthly comfortable contributions with my insurance company. It gave me the opportunity to inject capital into my business during peak periods and reap handsome returns. I never knew that an insurance company can be that helpful. Kudos to Mutual Benefits Assurance for such innovative and business-sustaining insurance products.
Take advantage